Well, Donald Trump was elected, and one of the first things I know he will do during this presidential term is he will stop at the Civil Rights Division, Department of U.S. Justice. Something he did talked about during MK Ultra, something, if there is anything out there he did not learn from this case, he did learn from this case about this type of stuff I have spoken about, by being hijacked into a Civil Rights Division, U.S. Department of Justice, beginning in 1995. Let's do some of that. This video, however, is about an individual who caused me more physical harm with her MK Ultra procedure more than absolutely anyone else involved in MK Ultra. Surprisingly, when I say her, I will be talking to you in this video about a female, in fact about ex-schoolmate from grammar school schoolmate for whom everybody involved in MK Ultra knew was absolutely insane, drunk from violence and self-determination on behalf of Milan Kučan to get me killed. She did cause me harm. I don't know if she was the one because of whom I started to feel injury here on this side of the heart, pain due to sleep deprivation, but I felt during her MK Ultra sessions, which were I don't know how many, she would not allow me to sleep together with the Novo Mesto police, which enforced this for, I don't know, 2 hours for 2 days. Inside, stranded, locked inside of her households. We're talking about houses. One house belonged to her brother, and another house belonged to maybe even her husband, I don't know. And also inside of her apartment, but inside of the apartment, which was really bad too, it was really bad inside of her apartment too, but it was nothing comparable to her houses where she would lock me inside with police. She locked herself inside with the police and started to traumatize me. Together with the police, with whomever they found, they would come inside of the house and it would be traumatization process. This MK Ultra sessions, in her case, this would go for entire months at a time, with letting me out just enough for appearing myself in the public and again make me disappear. Talking about Juršić here, a Novo Mesto director, police director Juršić, who was he was implementing this type of murder, systematic murder. So there you have, that's what happened when you go and vote. And I told you this is going to happen when Joe Biden got his presidency. All you gotta do is browse the blog and you will see if I did told you that this is going to happen or not. It doesn't matter. I do not side with Donald Trump and I do not side with Kamala Harris. I think that Kamala Harris was Obama the second, maybe even worse than Obama. I think just as bad as Obama, that's for sure. But when it comes to Donald Trump, he already had his presidency. He already demonstrated, and frankly, I don't see myself in him. I don't want him anywhere on the picture. It is simple as this. The two candidates, therefore, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, were doing absolutely everything they possibly could during a pre-campaign in Slovenia, where Slovenian side bargained for whichever of the American presidential candidates. We're talking here about Tanja Fajon. We're talking about the Tanja Fajon, who was inside of our house. Since this house was built, and who was inside of our old house inside of the city. She was present just like the girl I'm gonna talk about since my early childhood. Well, she was one of the children who traveled to Belgrade since I was baby. So that tells you something. This was Josip Broz Tito Junge with Borut Pahor, etc., etc. She grew up. She was gonna become like a replacement of Borut Pahor, and so the mentor was Borut Pahor, Milan, Kučan, etc., etc. And this one truly was involved since childhood, and it's practically my age. And I'm not young. She was born on May 9. I was born on December 1971. We are a few months apart. The word is about... So, the first thing I want to present is Jurčić became a director of Novo Mesto Police. There you go. This is a criminal you see right there, who would, with a physical restraint, violence, together also with other police, in a parenthesis, police officers, do stuff like this inside of the houses to physically resist, meant to be physically restrained. There was no way to resist to the physical violence of Novo Mesto Police. The word is about her name is Tea, just like this. This is the lady here. She shocked the shit out of people with her MK Ultra presence. By the way, I am like this because I have to be. I have a cold. I don't feel quite well. And so I know it's not presentable, but that's just the way it is. Mom is not doing well. Father is not doing well. And so there you go. This here was my schoolmate from the grammar school. This here. And I don't really know which was the article I have gone through. The other day I met her mother again. She was walking in vicinity where my father is. I was taking father for exercise and on a wheelchair, and her mom was who passed by and reminded me of Jedlovčnik. Thinking about where exactly I can get this stuff here. I am not gonna get into you. These are all the articles. I'm just gonna go like this, and I'm gonna copy paste this stuff down below. It won't make any difference anyhow, but it was an article where she reminded of it was an article where she reminded, I'm going to put that article below, of her early years at Zreče. Zreče is quite distanced from the Novo Mesto city, and so basically directions from a Novo Mesto, that would be quite with a car it would take about, what is it, like 2 hours to get there almost. Brutal road anyways. You get this closer, 2 hours no matter what you do, and the road is not really the best road. You don't escape these routes here, no matter what you do, you don't. This is what is it? This is 2 hours, very curvy, slow road. The connection with the Novo Mesto, which is not, it's just the country is like this, a small country, but hill. There's a lot of hills there to get there. She talked about in her article and about kinds of stuff about the cats, about the dog. Her mom took a dog actually on for a walk on the leash. But in the article she talks about Dr. Roman. She talks about, let me rather demonstrate this. This kind of stuff that you can read all you want until you fell off, actually. You know, like your little booklets with all kinds of stories and so on. Did I find this information really, really interesting? I find it interesting because Thea told me when I was in the 2nd grade of grammar school, when I was like 8 years old. It was quite interesting, really, because she was brilliant inside of the school. She always get the top scores, and I don't know how it happened, but the teachers helped me select Thea for my life mate. They started to insist, children, to us, that we have to create a couples with one another. And based on MK Ultra, the stuff that I have seen since my early age, with the Sofia Loren and Josip Broz Tito and stuff, to me it was quite a good idea to get myself a girl that would be same age, from the same class, a really good looking one too, and smart and everything, as a future wife. Why not? So it was really, really, really innocent thing, and it was the lesson, very, very early lesson, and that MK Ultra background that I had helped me just get through without a single scratch. And so in the second grade, Thea and myself exchanged preferential views for one another, and have teacher declared her and myself literally a couple. A couple. Nice, why not? And so before I got to kiss Thea, I did kiss her a little bit. Her cousin appeared. I suppose this cousin, Thea was involved in MK Ultra all along, since my age 6, when I entered the grammar school Novo Mesto. So this Zreče place here. I don't know where she is from. I would even have to think about that, because it would come to me, this kind of stuff too. It's a funny thing, because she said, you don't probably remember anything about the Zreče. Well, you'd be surprised. At Zreče, it was this attic area that her aunt or whoever, I don't know where we went, relative had, and they had this booklets like this. And her cousin or whoever it is from Ljubljana, from Zreče, I don't know where she's from. I think she was actually, cousin was actually from even maybe Ljubljana or something like that. I'm not sure. I think it was from Ljubljana. It doesn't matter. She came in a totally wrong, fucked up moment. Basically in a time when I was certain I'm gonna get purpose in my life. Finally, something to live for, something to struggle. It was Thea Jedlovčnik, it was my schoolmate. I will get to marry, the two of us are gonna be couple, and everything is gonna be beautiful, the two of us, And so I started to study. They told me that I had to study. So I started to study, and when it was a time, take school more seriously. And there was a time when the time came when the two of us supposed to be together, that I was completely crazy about. And on that weekend, whatever, Thea simply disappeared to Zreče. I was like, I saw this, that she was gone, and I think I continue with the school. To me, it immediately sent me alarm that something right there is not there, basically. Because it was really, she built the moment that would get my, how can I say, obligation, my commitment. And in the last moment, she just disappeared. Like, basically, funny thing. I just stepped away and I minded my own business. Did found myself in Zreče during MK Ultra, and they insisted that I could use this for my thing. So there's a child basically in Josip Broz Tito, Yugoslavia, that engaged himself in some kind of conspiracy on how I am going to resolve the most insane case in the world. That all my schoolmates in a grammar school were scared as shit. to even think about that this is what the fuck goes on with one of their schoolmates. It's total terror. And found myself in that attic area, walking. But guess who else was in the attic area? Tanya Fayoman. Holy shit. Milan Kučan was in the house. It was in this Zrecha when we came there. Like, we came to Milan Kučan. I think this is where her mom comes from or something like this. And her mom is extremely long friendship, very close friendship with the Milan Kučan. Holy shit. And so it was Uncle Kučan out there, for whom I did still not know what the fuck to think. I didn't like this guy. But now there's this beautiful girl in the picture, and where you go from there? I mean, you know. One thing that happened was the relationship ended right there, right then. I did get even some bad scores, something like that in the school, but I was not affected with it. And what's interesting is not only she, but few other girls started to fuck with the same way as they did to me with other schoolmates, flirt with them, demand from them obligation, and it eventually grew into a sport to fool guys to fall for them, and then simply leave them wait and fuck with them. Consequently, disappointed. I wasn't so disappointed because of MK Ultra shit that I was surrounded with. They suffered bad scores inside of the grammar school. This Zreče was all about Gregor Golobic. It was all about people whom Milan Kučan mentored. So these are like totally locations and a primitive scam, crime that went on and on and on and on. Anything they could find, they were doing, they were implementing. So I remember that there were some kids, males, that really suffered bad scores. Some that wanted to retaliate themselves even physically to these girls. I was not interested in any of that, even during her totally bestial torture once she grew up. The way she grew up was literally Uncle Milan Kučan assisting her absolutely through every step of the way, like absolutely everything. Well, there was another girl inside of our class. It was a class A. And her name was Suzana Abramovič. Suzana Abramovič, like the Russian guy with the name Roman Abramovich, right? What do you have? This one here. You're not gonna get anything here. You don't get to see anything here. I don't get to see her anywhere. Nothing. Totally nothing. So under Suzana Abramovič, I don't get to see anything. You change this to the soft ch at the end. Then you get something like this. You get to see her because this is what she married. And this was another sweetheart that made herself our home here in Novo Mesto, including this new house here as a home, through her grammar school, through her high school, and even through her university. These two girls, this one here and Jedlovčnik, they participated absolutely every MK Ultra procedure that existed out there. Every, absolutely, this is the article. Now it comes to me, I think. No, this is not it. Absolutely became right hand of Milan Kučan. Milan Kučan. This is Milan Kučan. Was there something else that went on? Maybe a pedophilia did go on. Very, very likely the pedophilia did go on. Milan Kučan did prefer shorter girls, and in our class we have probably two of these short girls, probably the most beautiful little jewels on entire school. Short, this class A at Gurm was assembled, like totally generated, literally by these communist apparatchiks. Not really communists, but the communists don't mind them to be communists. So yeah, they assembled a special class with special kids in it, and that involved also females. And these were the two most devoted females to the Milan Kučan. She works at Geodetska Uprava in the city of the Novo Mesto. And I will never forget, right when I immigrated to United States of America in 1995, which I kind of find it strange because I saw her information here about her, and the information states that this is not the same girl, chemistry teacher, this is not the same girl. Her facial features is very, very similar, isn't it? It's almost identical. Her facial features changed enormously, but she was always very, very beautiful, very pretty girl. There you go. And so for this, you don't even get to see her photo. Fine. It says here she started on January 1998. That's interesting. But a fact of the matter is that at this Geodetska Uprava MOP Slovenia, which I never Googled one. Well, I am just gonna go like this. She appeared at Geodetska Uprava in as early, this is what is unbelievable to me. She appeared at Geodetska Uprava before I even immigrated to United States in '93. That's what is spooky about this shit. So anything you say, it's a paranoia, basically. That's how they operated. Geodetska Uprava, that's basically right along the road as I go to the father. There is this Geodetska Gozno Gospodarstvo. No, this cannot be. Let's see this here again. Novo Mesto, turn it on. Aha, okay, here. This here. I think that this was the building where they had me inside. Let me see this here. Yeah, this here. Okay, there you go. We're gonna do it like this. Kmetijsko-gozni zavod Novo Mesto. So 93, 94, 95, 96, inside of this building, Mount Everest of torture went on inside, with the police presence, literally with the police. I think this was the building. I'm pretty sure that this was the building. whatever building they used, I think this was the building, I am pretty sure. Okay, we are talking about the Juršić again. This was a henchman who worked through absolute control of Milan Kučan in the background of it all. You know? So we get to see this here. No, I gotta be careful with this. This is Kandiski most. Wrong bridge. She was totally bestial in her crime, just as Jedlovčnik. The both were my schoolmates. Same thing, just here. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. This is what we are talking about here. The building. I remember her office. Her office, according to my idea which I formed, was located. Let me see this. Very difficult, very tricky. They wanted me to recall where her office was located, but this was really an office where she was inside. A bigger office, and these were her mentors. And let me see this. Let me think about something else. Hell, man, it could be that her office was. Well, let me see this from other side of the steel building. Okay, so this we get to see this. We get to see this. We're talking about this old house here. Yeah, I would say that her office was located in area which I demonstrated you earlier with this view here. Yeah, exactly, because I remember that from her office she had a capacity, she had an ability to see the houses behind here, you know. So I'm going to tell you exactly where her office was. It's not such a big deal, we can do that. Obviously the office was upstairs, so I estimate right about where the flag is, right where you see the flags. This must be in her office, in my opinion. There was somebody else, I think, that had also inside, but this is what the police would deliver me. Normally, as the police investigators, they would deliver me later also, practically at the same time, also uniformed Juršić, that kind of stuff. So the bestiality that went on inside of this, what did they call this shit? Geodetska uprava. Oh, there you go. Maybe now she's in a different location, I don't know. But all I needed was exactly what I pointed you out. It looks like this is now on a completely different location. This is totally other location now. So for me, when it comes to Suzana Abramovič, this here, this is the main deal is this here. This is when it went on. Sometimes in 1999, 2000, the stuff that she was watching, that they were doing with me inside of this building, this is fucking incredible. I mean, what the fuck goes inside of this schizophrenic buildings? So they really grow schizophrenia. I guess this is how they pay their bills, or I should say the right to this type of employment. They have to get involved in all kinds of crime. It's unbelievable, the stuff that went on. She didn't want to torture anymore. She didn't want to be involved in a torture anymore in 99, but she still pulled bad stuff on me. So this would be probably the best picture. I think this is the best picture of her, is right, this one here. She would continue to do bad stuff, trauma stuff, all the way sometimes to, I would estimate, 2008, and literally were paying bills with this stuff. Just as was the case with her university, with everything else, connections, jobs, that's precisely the way it goes. Looks very different from when she was young. For me, even unrecognizable. What is interesting to me, well, you know, I would expect that something like this would develop out of her. I think she's pretty anyways. 2008, something like that. She wanted to have a different, no, this shit did not stop in 2008 with her. This shit went on all the way to psychiatric hospital 2012. She never stopped. And was really proud about that, proud about the fact that just along the street, because the two were the best friends with this girl, Suzana Abramovič, and Jedlovčnik. The two were the best friends with one another. Was really meaningful to her that just down the street she had her ex-schoolmate from the grammar school working, who, by the way, was her best friend. That's Jedlovčnik. This here. When it comes to this Zrecha, okay, that's why I am assuming that this is what she was there for. There was nothing other than pedophilia that went on there. When it comes to Zrecha, this was a totally different world. This was more, I think it was more aggressive than the City of the Novel Master. Or at least they made me feel like, in terms of pedophilia and stuff, Milan Kučan was the Tsar. This was the Tsar. This is a Slovenian, the Tsar. The pedo king is Milan Kučan. They always find, for also Zoran Jankovic, they always find nice little girls to entertain with, and the older men became mentors of these younger girls. This was just hand in hand. This is the way it all operated. Well, she is the head of the chirurgy department in the City of the Novel Master. And based on my case, when it comes to Jedlovčnik, this girl here, when she literally wanted to get me killed through the sleep deprivation and trauma inside of her houses, she volunteered. She was just riding the wave. I mean, anything that opened out there that was of her interest and increase the salary and stuff like this, she was just go ask, Everything was just the best physicians secured her a career in this cosmetic surgery. And yeah, she became a head in the Novo Mesto hospital. I demonstrated, you understand, of the chirurgy department. Amazing, I'm going to say amazing, extremely intelligent girl. But if you had a problem with the Milan Kučan, the chances that you would go inside of this department for the chirurgy and walk out of this department alive, or without even a bigger health problem caused to you through the surgical procedure, do not fucking exist. I was gonna say are slender. No, they're not slender. This is as killer as it gets. No character involved in MK Ultra was so murderously concentrated, directed. Like, you hear this expression from Sharon Stone, killer instinct. This one fucking caused me injuries, for real. I'm not kidding. She's small. This is a small girl. She's as big as Milan Kučan. She will fucking eat your heart out and spit one. Her husband was lucky to escape the marriage. He's got a cat, he's got a dog, got all that nice. Her son was with her, lived with her, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, and she became my big fan. She became took me with her around the world, literally, and then nobody understood why I didn't want to be next to her. Even that everybody knew who she was. Everybody involved in MK Ultra knew about who she was. Continued to flirt with me. Absolutely insist on my being that wants to get together with me and so on. They're making some new apartments now in Mirza Dolina. I think in Mirza Dolina, an area of Mirza Dolina here in Novo Mesto, is also where one of these houses was, where she had me inside. Let's see this. No, they don't demonstrate this stuff here. What we're gonna do is Podjetniški center, something like this, incubator Podbreznik. I'm not sure, but in this area, in this part of Berlin somewhere, I think, but I'm not sure about it. There was one of these houses that shit went on inside of it. This is I am not good with Novo Mesto area. I'm not doing really well with the Novo Mesto area. And I yet have to investigate this stuff. I'm doing on some other project right now. I don't have so much time that I would go and investigate the stuff that, all the stuff where and so on that she was involved in. The houses where she had me inside, including her apartment and so on, this is a very, very easy thing for me to describe. It's easy stuff for me to describe. This is not, it's also questionable if she had me inside of her. I don't know why I had the feeling it was here, somewhere in this area, that she had me in the house. There are no houses here, I see. we're talking about the newer homes, newer houses. Uh, what is this? Cegelnica. This is. I don't know why, but I had a feeling that this was right here somewhere. It's impossible for me to go. I do not go. I don't. Here's one thing I don't do. I don't stalk people online. I don't go and profile their addresses and stuff like this. This is the stuff I don't do. I don't give a three fuck about. What I use as a primary source is my memory. When I get, when I substitute Novo Mesto police with the real police badge, then I will be playing with this kind of stuff. When I get investigation credentials and also people who will assist me, then I'm going to start playing with other issues as well. Novo Mesto police absolutely knows everything about it. So does Slovenian intelligence, so-called SOVA, S-O-V-A. They know about all this stuff. People got scared the shit out of when they realized who she was, what the fuck she was up to, what she was doing. She became one of the scariest people in the city of the Novo Mesto. And Milan Kučan is using her literally at the Novo Mesto chirurgy department as a head of the surgical department, basically, it looks like. Oh. Yeah. What makes me understand is my potential I had in life, how it was minimized and used to expand simply people, the elite, through the genocide procedures, literally, and place me in the world where you have to face director of Novo Mesto police station. That's interesting, right? Head of the surgical department in the city of the Novo Mesto, chirurgy, etc., etc. It makes me think about this stuff, right? You have a Tanya Fayon, foreign minister, right? That's what it is, etc., etc., etc. How these people that were involved in it, the Slovenian side always talk about the Nazis, about West, how West this, West that, United States of America this, Germany this, so on, Illuminati, London bad, what London is doing and so on. We are the most ritualistic in a sense of murderous charisma, in sense of killing. We are the most murderous country in the world, Slovenia. This you don't have anywhere in the world, anything like this. There is no country in the world that you would have stuff like this. It doesn't exist. There is no country that would be something like this. It's basically communist pointing at capitalist or whatever, how they are rotten, rotten capitalism, rotten this, rotten this, rotten that. You should fucking see these motherfuckers from up close. Test it on your own skin to understand what the fuck they're about. Sure, they will always blame the other side, and the other side is up to no fucking good. Doesn't even cross my mind I would go and advocate the royals or something like that. Oh, hell no. But stuff they talk about, it's exactly the stuff they do. And they also live like kings. They live like kings. The communists live like kings. They are lords. They live like kings, lords, better. Because they go to the western part of the world and they get all these crazy people do the same thing. Basically, they're far more aggressive than when it comes to the, it was like some kind of exchange between Central Intelligence Agency, FBI, and eastern part of the Europe that went on. So they were allowed to do it and they were allowed to do it. But This shit is so aggressive that it might be strange to you if you watch my program somewhere in the US or Britain or whatever the hell, but this here in Slovenia, this is totally out of touch with reality. Well, Slovenia was the most, I'm not going to say prosperous, but the wealthiest Eastern European republic, which was located in Yugoslavia. The thing is that definitely should never be entitled to any kind of independence. This not even independence. It's a crime. It's they work back toward Yugoslavia through the genocide. Well, I myself don't even care about that stuff anymore. Yeah, it's the people that have everything to do with this. It's the people. It's not the politicians. It's the people that do the stuff, did stuff like this. It's up to no fucking good. Up to no fucking good. If you're Swiss, you get a chance to get something out of your life as such, whatever. If you're German, if you're Austrian, the same thing. If you're French, the same thing. If you're Italian, the same thing. Here is the biggest crime is you seeing yourself as the owner here, as part of this place here where you were born and so on. This is the biggest crime. This is, you would call this a communism. This is just annihilation of a DNA for the sake of Serbia, for the sake of Russia. Basically, this is a war in Ukraine, equivalent. Just not on that scale that you would have ability to watch, to see things happening right out on a broad daylight. But like I said, people in Slovenia are humble. People in Slovenia are, they go along with it. They'll preferably go and they'll use the crime like mine against the fellow man to immigrate to a better location where they will collect the money before they curse out and they come back here and bring money to their owners and so on. That's something I haven't done. They wanted to, but I didn't do that stuff. These girls are all there for me. Absolutely anything I want. Well, I don't like to see these people inside of the jail. I don't like to see these people punished for the crime. Because they're not people, they're animals. And started to deliver me to her workplace to meet the customers and so on, like a regular MK Ultra individual involved in it and stuff like this. This is absolutely a beast. I will never forget who stated that stuff. It can be done. It can be done. The stuff can be done. And I'm not sure whether she thought about my MK Ultra case, but I'm absolutely certain that she wanted to cause me a cardiac arrest because she negotiated together with the Milan Kučan many times about causing me physical harm, physical injuries, and nobody was so dedicated to causing physical injuries, physical harm through the sleep deprivation procedure, trauma, death threats than she was. A normal human being would be scared about the stuff I talk. He would be scared about the Novo Mesto police director Juršić. It's fucking insane stuff I talk. But in Slovenia is just another day, because all they are looking for is another me, another individual that they can get use for a free ride to nowhere, back to Serbia. Needless for me to, don't need to say anything about her being a good friend of, extremely close friend with Tanja Fajon. That is stupid. I would undermine myself, but I even witnessed negotiation between her and Tanya Fayon about my case, because it was timed, supposedly, that I was not interested in any Slovenian girl. And they supposedly, this is when I started to look for the Slovenian girl that would be suitable for me, etc., etc. This is how the theft of time during MK Ultra goes. This is how it operates. This is an absolute animal. This is an absolute animal. Nobody was as animal as this here. This is this is the scariest woman that was involved in my MK Ultra case. The scariest one. This was the scariest thing. Nothing was as scary as this. Nurse Janko from Home for Elderly was addicted to her. He saw himself in her for whatever reason. He very much insisted that this should be my girlfriend and so on. They brainwash all of a sudden, presented her in a totally different light. She was stressed out many years about whether I remember even about what the stuff that went on and so on. She wanted to know how much stuff I remember, and in between all this stuff she wanted to get me killed. She did not want the stuff like this to come out. Definitely not. Collected money on absolutely everything through the torture. Milan Kučan was literally paying for killing, for the collateral murder. Milan Kučan, Borut Pahor, Tanya Fayon, these people paid money to the people for the collateral murder. This is how Slovenia operates. This is like a mafia state or something like that. No, this is no state. This is called ethnic cleansing. This is not state.